Hello, I'd like to thank you for taking a few moments to educate yourself about self-care in the realm of the subconscious mind and programming and healing limiting beliefs or core wounds that many of us have. All of us have something. My name is Germana Rovinelli. I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist with over 34 years experience in the industry, and what drew me to it was attempting to heal my own deregulated nervous system, my own sense of shame and guilt, my own sense of worthlessness and fear. And I was introduced to a book years ago called You Can Heal Your Life by Louise Hay. And in the back of the book, she had a whole list of all of the different issues that the body can have. You could have, acne, you could have psoriasis, you could have depression, you could have back problems, knee problems, foot problems, eye problems, brain problems, you name it. And she was able to sort of compartmentalize those issues as the body's speaking about the subconscious messages that are installed, that are expressing themselves like a fruit, like a crop. And I was like, okay, so if it's a limiting belief or a message that the body has accepted as true, what's the opposite? What's the healing message? And that's what drew me to, looking deeper into her work, as well as going, how do I ever access the subconscious mind? And what I ended up doing years later was finding out how to do self-hypnosis and taking training. And it brings me to you now 30 some odd years later, and it has helped me tremendously. And I really feel that it is my purpose to help people have their dignity and help people have their power and help people make choices so they're actually living a life that they want to live. Some of this information comes from a course that I teach called Boundaries or Burnout. And it's all about reprogramming the subconscious, which is like the elephant, and the conscious mind is the flea on the elephant. So you can't outthink or out-talk or do talk therapy to heal the subconscious mind. It doesn't work that way. Most of the information is pre-verbal. So I'm going to share some things. I'm going to read them off a slide and then share and then talk. What you will learn if you watch this video and the few next that come behind it is how to master your emotional state, your emotions, by understanding the subconscious programming. And that means how you have been programmed, like a computer. Key principles about how the subconscious mind works. Once you understand this, you will have probably a lot more sense of autonomy and control in your life, a lot more sense of leadership, and you won't feel so fractured or vulnerable. Reprogramming tools to start shifting old programs into new ones that are healthy and beneficial. Remember that the subconscious mind will hold on to whatever it believes to be true unless it's given something that works better. Most of our beliefs and our decisions are installed right up until about 8 years old, boys and girls. So if you leave these and you do not do anything with them, your life and your decisions are being run by somebody who is about 8 years old or younger. And that is tragic because we live in a different world than we did when we were 8. So if we're making the decisions from that fearful, I'm not okay place, it's going to be pretty painful. It's going to be tragic. So I want you to write this down or hear this really, really clearly. I would write it down, but BTEA and chain reactions. So beliefs create thoughts, that create emotions, that create actions. So if you have a belief that says I'm not good enough, then you will have thoughts that constantly focus on I'm not good enough, what do I need to be or do to be good enough? And because the subconscious has this hole that says I'm not enough, that person will often be a workaholic, they'll do a lot of volunteer work, they'll often create autoimmune disease, they'll often create burnout for sure. And they'll often have physical pain, emotional pain, financial pain, all sorts of pain. And then their system will start to shut down. Because if we think we're not enough and we keep having thoughts that say I'm not enough and I must keep doing more, then the emotions that go with that at some point are desperate or desire for more, constantly seeking joy outside. And what happens there is those thoughts run the life and they create actions that burn the person out. And often you'll see, particularly men and women, but men a lot, overwork themselves into early death. They just fall apart because they're not taught what are your needs? They're just taught, I'm not enough, I'm a man, I have to do more. And women do the same thing. I see it all the time. And usually you'll get some big hitters for diseases because the body needs to be taken care of. And if the mind is going, I'm not enough, I don't have enough, I'm not good enough, then that person will just keep tapping their system until they're done. So our belief systems lead to our thought patterns. If I have a belief that I'm not enough, then I will have thought patterns that what do I need to do to be enough? I might, do a lot of things that are kind of maybe not so intelligent, but they seem good at the time. And beliefs and thoughts lead to emotions, feeling like weak, feeling unwanted, whatever it might be. And those emotions, which has been proven by neuroscience, drive our behaviors. So therefore, it's important to reprogram our belief and thought patterns. Once we do this, everything else will naturally flow. So I'm going to repeat it. If we tell ourselves negative stories, example, I'm not good enough, everyone has that, I am disliked, then we will feel uncomfortable. Emotions like anxiety, fear, sadness, and despair, and we'll try to fill that bucket by doing a lot. And it's never, ever, ever feels satisfied, because the minute you have one type of achievement, your mind will go, oh, what over there? There. We'll keep chasing it. If we change that story or that message that I am good enough, which would be very foreign for most of us, I am worthy, I am lovable, I'm allowed to slow down, then we will feel more positive, we will feel more safe in our own skin. We're going to talk a little bit about those beliefs are also considered core wounds, how core wounds filter our experiences. And this is really important to give a sense of compassion. The mind naturally interprets experiences through the filter of our core wounds or our limiting beliefs. So we call that a reality filter. It's like, this is the lens that I see everything through. I believe it's true, but if you ask 10 other people, if they see it, they're not going to see it unless they have the same core wound. As a result, so if I believe I'm not enough, I will look through the lens that everyone else thinks I'm not good enough. And I will start doing things or having anxiety or over-functioning or over-performing to prove that I'm enough, even if I feel that I'm not. So that's an example. It's like a prison on its own. As a result, we project our core wounds onto the situations we encounter. So if you meet somebody and you believe you're not enough, your subconscious mind is going to make up a story about they're not going to see that you're good enough or smart enough or pretty enough or whatever, fill it in. And then that projection creates emotions, behaviors, and attitudes that are not necessary, but completely destroy the quality of that situation because you can't actually be your true self. You're busy in defense. I'm not enough. So here's a good one for daters. So Bob doesn't call back when he said he would. And we go, oh, Bob didn't call back. Oh dear. The experience is filtered through the wounds. I'm not good enough. I'm not lovable. I am disliked. There's something wrong with me, and Bob knows it because I know it. We assume that Bob didn't call us back because of these core wounds. We take it personally. And in reality, it's probably got zero to do with that, but we will make up a story so we can stay in pain and be right. We will go through that again in more depth when I cover the emotional mastery programming as we go forward. So choose one or two core wounds that are causing the most suffering for you. That's step one. Example, I am unlovable. In the first hour when you wake up and the last hour before you go to bed, use repetition plus emotion. You find 10 to 15 areas in your day or in your life of evidence as to why the opposite is true. So I would journal in the physical area. I am lovable when I take care of my body. Today I had a bath. Today, and there needs to be emotion connected. It can't be intellectual. Your subconscious doesn't do intellect. It's all emotion and repetition. So see if you can find 10 to 15 pieces of evidence each day that you are lovable and how and who does love you. It could be your pet. It could be your plants. It could be your home. Be sure to look in all the 7 areas of life, but it's okay to simply look in one. So I'm going to share the 7 areas of life. It's spiritual, it's emotional, it's physical, it's intellectual, it's career, it's finance, and I seem to be missing one, but the next one is relationships. And most of us, that's where the wound really shows up, because we don't have a healthy relationship with ourselves, so we don't have a healthy relationship with other people. The reason for this timing of doing this in the morning is because your subconscious is wide open. We're in a natural alpha state and theta brainwaves. We are more suggestible. Suggestibility means receptive and teachable. We can also do this exercise after meditation or breathing, a nice breathing meditation, because what that does is it slows down the brain. So say if you pick, I am choosing to find my lovability or notice that I'm lovable. You might actually create a symbol that represents being loved, warm, fuzzy love. And you might wash that over your body like a color, or you might have a memory of your child when your child was this really cute little beautiful cherub, and remember how lovable your child is. Or you might even remember when you were a little child and let that image wash over you to start to heal your belief system about your own value, your own worth. This is called the principles of autosuggestion, and it's a summary. The ironic processing theory, reframing things into positive language. This is very important. As an example, your subconscious doesn't use the word don't. So if I have somebody call me and they I really don't want fat thighs, what their subconscious mind is going to hear, I want fat thighs, because it doesn't hear don't. So you want to be conscious of what you say to yourself. This is a little example. I don't have lack beliefs anymore in my relationship to money, which means I have lack beliefs. There's poverty in relationship to money. The language to use to really penetrate that iceberg, we'll call it the subconscious. I feel abundant in my relationship to money. And when a person does that, it needs to be an emotional connection. My body actually feels good. I feel good. I can receive the abundance already in my life. I can let it in. The subconscious mind cannot process the word don't. Instead, it visualizes lack beliefs. So it will make up a vision of someone suffering with poverty, and the person will then have emotions, and then they will go into an emotional response, and then they will go into actions that are usually poverty fueled, and they will also not let themselves have joy, and joy is critical. Here the subconscious visualizes the word abundant, a better positive reframe. So that's a lot of information to put into one video, and I'm going to ask you to gently notice, where would you like to have more joy? Where would you like to have more choices? And what are you telling yourself about that? I can't. Does somebody else have to change? Because if you're waiting for someone else to change, you will lose your entire life. The only person that has the power to change is you and the relationship with yourself. And all healing is self-healing. It's our relationship to ourselves, because we're constantly talking behind the scenes to ourselves. And most of what we're saying, I hate to break it to you, is absolutely untrue. Like if you ask yourself, if your brain comes up with some thing about people don't like me, and you go, how do I know that that's true? Or is that true? Do I have evidence? And you get used to doing that. Do I have evidence that that's true? You'll discover that your mind is not a good place to hang out, which is why people do meditation, to slow down, to be mindful, and then they're aware of the thought without believing the thought and letting that thought run their day. I'm going to shut this video down. I'm going to create a few more, and I welcome you to like, share, subscribe to the channel if you like, and use some of these tools. They are things that will change your life, and it's far more efficient, in my opinion, than the traditional therapy, because you're only working with the conscious mind in traditional therapy and the effects of unhealed wounds. So if you can heal the wound, then you're not dealing with the effects all the time. Thank you. I look forward to potentially hearing from you. If you want to drop a message and have a special request for a video, I will happily honor that.